I just got some more thoughts on power training and exercise selection. So things like loaded jumps, trap bar jumps are often exercises that are considered to be great power training exercises. And this is because the average velocities, the average power outputs are higher with these exercises compared to a lot of other exercises. But there's a few problems with this line of thinking and justifying exercises based on power output or average velocities. A question that needs to be answered is, why do these exercises produce higher power outputs? In order to maximize power output, there needs to be time allowed for high forces to be produced. Power relies on force and velocity. It's because they provide a certain amount of time that is needed to achieve high forces, and they provide enough distance to move to allow for a long enough acceleration component. The longer distance allowed to be moved, the higher velocities. Think about an airplane on a runway. This will ensure higher power output. So one problem with this line of thinking used to justify exercise selection is that sports just don't allow this. And I'll use jumping as an easy example. Sports don't allow you to select your counter movement depth before jumping based on what you perceive to allow for the greatest amount of power. Sports are reactionary. In sports, you're just going to jump however you need to in order to complete the task and preserve energy. And the second problem with this line of thinking is that the output just doesn't matter. The stimulus provided by the exercise is what matters. The amount of power one can produce is going to be highly contextual. Improving how much power you can produce in a weight room exercise and selecting certain exercises for the reason of power production will not carry over to the context of producing power while completing other tasks in sports. So what's the solution? 1. Get strong, drive up the potential for maximal force production. This will raise the ceiling of how much force you can produce in shorter amounts of time. And 2. Do activities with high impulses and rely on movement speeds that are at maximal velocity. Do things that require maximal effort and short ground contacts. That's just sprinting and bounding basically. Trap bar jumps and things alike allow you to build up tension or force during the counter movement, or as soon as your body feels the load. And they give your center of mass a certain amount of distance to move to reach higher velocities. That's why the power output is higher with these exercises, but it just doesn't matter. This is so much different than impulses experienced during sports. This is why I think of jumping as not power training, just jump training. It's just jumping, and jumping with load is just jumping with load. The load is just a constraint to the task of jumping. So hopefully that makes sense, and I'm not saying loaded jumps are a waste of time. I just think the rationalization behind them is poor. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next video.